This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Wednesday morning to you. This is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander. It's Kelly Bidlin to my left writing notes.
So,
what are you writing?
Yeah, I rarely write with a pen.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make a couple things just to not forget this segment.
What do you typically write with? You just mean you don't write?
No, I usually just type it up on a computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the loud clickety-clack of Kelly's computer.
We want to know. What are you writing with?
Well, Adam Thielen, I believe is how you pronounce it, has just got traded a little while ago.
Back to the Vikings?
Back to the Vikings. Adam Thielen goes, and it is for, let me pull up the details here.
Everybody, let's watch the betting lines not move together.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's interesting, though, for both sides. This was what we were talking about last week, Matt Brown and I. Like, I don't know if I really believed it was going to happen, because why are you taking away pieces from Bryce Young that can help him develop? And Thielen's actually been pretty good. Yeah. So, a little weird. Vikings get Thielen, a conditional 7th-round pick, and a 5th-round pick. The Panthers get a 5th and a 4th. So, if you're just looking from draft capital, that's pretty good return for the Panthers.
I'm gonna suggest that we will not have a lesser awesome opening than that one. For the next 4 months.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Once February happens, all bets are off.
All right. Breaking news.
That's right. On the show today, Jensen Lewis from By the Books, who was just on air with Dave Ross, Captain America. By the way, big morning for Jensen and Dave. Jensen's going to be on the show here momentarily, talk baseball with us. But Dave Ross, who gets more excited for a Ryder Cup announcement than Captain America Dave Ross?
I did this yesterday.
Yeah?
I called him out of the pen.
Yeah.
We're doing an emergency long shots pod, Ryder Cup at 10 a.m. As soon as we get off the air, we flip it right on, recording long shots. We'll talk about Ryder Cup. That announcement will be coming down during the show. And I had to invite Dave Ross. Dave Ross should be paid by the Ryder Cup to promote it all year long.
He should be. Jensen will be on with us momentarily to talk baseball. Greg Peterson, all of his baseball plays today on a full-day Major League Baseball slate, as is the case each and every Wednesday. And by the way, if you go to the if you're a VSiN.com, a VSiN Pro subscriber, and you go to VSiN.com/picks for Pro subscribers, guess who's atop the experts board right now? Greg Peterson.
Oops.
Yeah. Unseated Jensen. So we go back-to-back Jensen and Greg right here to start the show. And then Pete Futak, college football a little later. JVT will be on the show a little later. Talk college football and pro perhaps with us. And Michael Montesano a little later on. Circa Booby Prize winner, giving us some college football and an NFL season win total. That's deeper down the show, but we got a win total Wednesdays.
Yeah.
You know what that means today, Kelly? That means a couple things. One, it means baseball. We're going to talk about teams to get to 80 wins, teams to get to 90 wins. One of these markets that I think more consistently than any other has been the like, are there really bets here? Because the books really, they do a number on bettors in these markets. But we'll see if we can find anything. And then on the NFL side of things, you and me, our favorite alt season win totals of the year. Alt.
Yes. Alternate. Not straight up. I don't know how many you've actually bet. I don't think I've bet any of the ones I've written down yet. There is one or two that I am considering. But it was fun putting together a list, man, because there are some teams, when you're high or low on the teams, I ended up writing down way more than I thought I was going.
It really does speak to, you and I were just mentioning this before we got on air, certain divisions for me, we do, and by the way, we're going to talk NFC South today. We're going to talk AFC North. We're going to do it, again, through the prism of Cleve TA's numbers, which I think are great. But what it really comes down to is certain divisions make me want to bet tons of things, and certain divisions don't make me want to bet anything. Yeah. I don't know if that works for you the same way.
I want to say that's kind of I feel like a common feeling around bettors this summer, but I don't know. Maybe it's just us. I mean, I look at a division like the NFC North and the NFC West, and it's just like, I can't make a division bet here. Like, I think there's multiple teams in the running that I got to see a little bit of first.
Yeah. And then, to answer your question, there's a bunch of NFL bets I have to make. This is where the U.S. Open, while I love the fact, again, that the tennis calendar very kindly moves out of the way once the NFL season begins. The slams are over for the year anyway. There's still tennis, but by and large, it moves out of the way. Betting so much U.S. Open tennis does take my mind off of betting all these football things. And then it's sort of like, oh my God, I got to sign up for Survivor. I got to bet all these other things.
I did it yesterday, man. It's, look, it's so popular, even on a Tuesday. I had a little bit of a wait. Build your time in, man.
Really?
Yeah. They got the whole. I think they were doing this last year.
You
too.
signed up for the contest?
Yeah,
I'm doing it tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, give yourself a little bit of time.
By the way, what are we looking at? Over 10,000 entries right now in Survivor, and 22 in Grandissimo. 22. What was my number? 30 and a half? I don't think we're going to get there. 23, I'm told.
Thanks, Danny. I really got to get those eyes checked.
Boy, Danny, I'm glad there's a producer on set.
I was just squinting real hard at that. I was like, is that a 2 or a 3? Yeah, it's a 3.
23. One was added yesterday. Speaking of the U.S. Open, yesterday had 4 plays, 2 and 2, but guess which 2 hit? The big doggies. Big dogs hit yesterday. Tristan Skulkate, the Aussie, at plus 206, got it done in 5 cents against Lorenzo Sonego. Skulkate won the first 2 sets. He dropped the next 2 sort of miserably. And then he was down a break in the 5th, broke back, and wins it. 7-5. So the plus 206 cashes for us, as does the plus 230 on Laura Siegemund, the German, who beat Deanna Schneider, who came off a win in the tournament in Monterey. She had travel issues, too. But Siegemund is, I was mentioning yesterday, not actually awkward. She's the most annoying player to play against. She plays out the serve clock to the end every time.
Gosh.
And even, messes with it, daring the ump to call something. And so you could tell Schneider was not happy after that. But we hit that at plus 230. We lose badly on the short shots yesterday. Elena Avanesian was plus 142, so it wasn't that bad of a play. But the Martin Vucevic lost miserably. That was the first play of the day yesterday. So 2 and 2, but the 2 dogs hit nicely. Today, 4 more plays. Not quite as sexy. 3 on the men's side, 1 on the ladies' side. I don't mean that. I just mean the numbers. On the ladies' side, Taylor Townsend, Kelly, against the hamburger, Yelena Ostapenko. Taylor Townsend, who is a elite doubles player, has really stepped up her singles game. For subscribers, won on her against Danielle freaking Collins a few weeks back when freaking Collins was screaming on the court. What is happening to me? Townsend plus 106 against Ostapenko today on the ladies' side.
Man, Townsend almost 30. That makes me feel old.
Townsend? Oh, yeah. She's been around forever.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
She does well. This has always been a tournament she steps up for, but her singles game is really at the best it's ever been right now. So Townsend plus 106. Then on the men's side, 3 plays. Francisco Comasana is the big dog of the day, plus 174 against the Englishman Cameron Norrie. Cam Norrie, or as Drew used to call him, Scam Norrie. Francisco Comasana, Argentine, known more for his clay play, but actually really good numbers-wise on hard courts as well, sort of sneaky that way. Plus 174 on Comasana versus Norrie. Then you don't usually see me play favorites of this size.
No, you do not.
Yeah, this is a departure for me, but the numbers lead where the numbers lead, Kelly.
Yeah.
Adrian Manarino, Frenchman. That's right, he's a Frenchman with that last name. Minus 181 versus the American Jordan Thompson, who is a hard quarter. Not as good as he once was, and Manarino has found his game again after sort of being a hard court specialist for many years, then fallen off the face, and he's back. Minus 181 on Manarino versus Thompson. And then the final one, Benjamin Bonzi versus Marcos Giron, the American. Marcos Giron played a 5-setter. So did Bonzi famously against Medvedev the other night, where Medvedev destroyed rackets at the end of that one. Bonzi's minus 105. I just think he's the better player, and the numbers dictate that as well. So the men's side, Comasana, plus 174 versus Norrie. Manarino, minus 181 against Thompson. Bonzi, minus 105 against Giron. And then on the ladies' side, Taylor Townsend, let's go. Plus 106 against Ostapenko.
Now, clearly everybody just calls him the Bonzi scheme, right? That's...
I think that's just you. But
just
maybe.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm starting it then. I'm starting it in TM. And then Jordan Thompson...
Do you think trademarks are granted if you just go TM? The patent office?
Yes, I think so.
They're like Skelly's.
Believe that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Scott declaring bankruptcy. I declare bankruptcy. Jordan Thompson allowed to play with shoes today?
What was the shoes thing?
Well, does he not get to wear shoes or something? That's why you're laying a minus 181? That's a big price for you to lay, yeah?
What's the biggest number you've ever seen me play on a match.
Nah,
Probably,
I do. No, I'm not going to go crazy because I do feel like every 7 months you'll have a minus 200 or something like that.
I don't think I've ever done that.
No, okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done
I feel
that.
like I've seen.
Even though if the number said to do it, I would do it. It's not. I'm not discriminatory on this stuff. Comasana, Manarino, Bonzi on the men's, Townsend on the ladies' side, and it's been a great tournament thus far, as it always is in New York City. And the biggest upset so far, Maddie Keys gone on the ladies' side, and Alina Svitolina on the ladies' side gone. Maddie Keys, who was a finalist at this tournament in 2018 and won her first slam this year at the Australian Open, said she was nervous before her first round match. There's like New York crowd.
I was just going to ask you if it was that. Like, the U.S. Open's just different. Like, it's. I mean, I think especially if you're an American, right? Like, it is New York City at night for a lot of these matches. Crowd is hopping, and you know that. Like, I mean, I'm sure the expectations these American tennis players put on themselves is even more than the outside American fan base. But
I went to the one day of qualies last week for free. It's free for everybody, qualies. So I ended up watching practice. But the only time I've ever attended an actual U.S. Open match, I probably told this story before, there is what is that documentary series, Untold or something like that?
Yeah.
But anyway, they do one the American, just to your point, American Marty Fish. And I'm watching this documentary, and Marty Fish they're having a breakdown in a U.S. Open match against Gilles Simon. That's the one night I was there. I was there for that match. Had no idea what was happening in front of me at the time, but he was having a complete mental breakdown that completely changed the trajectory of his career from, pressure that had been built up, but then climaxed, if you will, at the U.S. Open.
Yeah. These guys got to interview a few times, actually, down south.
Really?
Great dude, great conversation. Yeah. Amazing golfer, just amazing athlete.
Amazing golfer,
Yeah.
Just give you guys a stick and a ball, and they're amazing. It's incredible. We'll come back. Jensen Lewis on the other side. Let's talk some Major League Baseball with him. Greg Peterson as well this hour, and a whole bunch of football. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Got a good thing coming, so wait and see. It's a good.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, Mike Palm is back, VP of Circa. You cannot be serious, and a huge update on all the contest numbers here and what's going on in Missouri. We'll also hear from Matt Humans. Maui Matt's back, talk college football, and the Meat Man to preview soccer and a lot of day games in Major League Baseball. Follow the Money 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, now Sirius XM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, or get the VSiN Watch app.
The Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you want to bet smarter, and I know you do, start with Smarter Insights. Right now you can check out VSiN NFL Betting Guide 2.0, Greg Peterson's MLB Best Bets, and the College Football Week 1 Hub. All this week's college football content in one place. And later today, you can check out college football game previews and predictions for Friday and Saturday, Nashville Derby Invitational, Kentucky Downs, the home of VSiN's newest studio, and U.S. Open tennis picks from Zach Cohen. Right now, you can sign up for as little as $9.99 to access all the VSiN Pro articles. Just head to VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up today. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Always appreciate the feedback. This is from Joe Bren. I thought the sunrise over Bondi Beach was beautiful. Wow, he's in Australia. To start my work week, but wait, what's this? Hour 3, life just got a whole lot sunnier. Stoked to ride the upcoming NFL season with you and the incomparable Kelly Bidlin. Called you Terry McLaurin incomparable from Bondi Beach, Australia.
Thank you. I see what you did there, though. It was the nice little humble brag. Bondi Beach, just in Australia. Just hanging in Australia.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
Just a Wednesday.
Rich Sports 1981. So I set the over-under at 9.5 curse words from you if you watch the Schoolgate match. No, I didn't curse that much. I was pumped when he won that second set tiebreaker. I think that was the key to it all, for sure, yesterday. Todd Hoyer. This is a great, this might be my favorite tweet of the week right here. He says, Gil, outside of the occasional Grand Slam final, I've never taken much of an interest in tennis. Leave it to me putting $20 on one of your plays and I'm watching Sonego Schoolgate like it's the back nine of the Masters on Sunday. Thanks. Glad about the 3 hours. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate that very much. And let's see. The numbers, guys. Adam Thielen has been traded. Wow, that's very uninteresting. And then Fairway Fred, as a golfaholic, watching Tomljanovic almost gacking the second set was a great match. Thanks for the... Oh, yeah, Drew hit the plus 220 on Tomljanovic, taking a set from Coco yesterday as well. Yep. So that was 3 big dogs for us yesterday. Whole bunch of tweets. We'll get to him, but kind enough to join us after his 3 hours doing By the Books, and he has to do them with Captain America Dave Ross, so that's extra duty right there. It's our own Jensen Lewis, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, joining us now from his spot in Ohio. How you doing, Jensen?
Great to be with you, boys. Appreciate the time. And yeah, it was a fun week last week, abbreviated week, if you will, those 3 days. But it is all set there. If you want to take the sojourn to Franklin, Kentucky, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, about 30, 35 minutes from the Nashville International Airport, just due north. So a lot of memories coming back as a young champion in my Vanderbilt days, because I used to take 65 north, going back to where my parents are in Cincinnati. So nice little spot there. And I think you said it to me, Gil, in the break. This whole gambling thing's going to catch on down there in Franklin, Kentucky.
Yeah, pretty sure about it. This gambling thing's going to catch on one day. You have been on a heater betting baseball and other stuff, but primarily baseball, if I'm not mistaken. Is there anything you attribute that to? And then what are you looking at today, I guess?
Yeah, I guess, Gil, again, we always appreciate and we keep the humbleness about us because the baseball gods can get you at any time. But this is that part of the season, too, just from my playing days where you can factor in the fatigue and also the motivation of teams that are kind of playing out the strings. So actionable spots, especially on getaway days. We've got a handful of those today, particularly a couple of things we touched on By the Book. So I'll start with the Mariners game, Yu Darvish and Brian Wu. And, San Diego almost gave that game away last night. Cal Raleigh has been a force for them, albeit the batting average is below the Mendoza line. I just love backing a guy in Wu who has been just phenomenal in so many respects this year. Darvish in his own right has been good, but I'll take the home favorite here. Padres have been pretty good, guys. Won 3 of their last 4 road series finales, but I think that ends today. I think the Mariners get it done and are able to cover the short money line price.
Okay. By the way, you said something before you give us your other picks. You said something there that I'm curious as a bettor, and it applies to baseball, but I guess it could apply to other sports as well. But specifically with baseball, this notion that teams are playing out the string. Do we overrate that as bettors sometimes, or is that really a thing? Like if you're I'll say 40, but let's just say you're 25 games out in July on a club, and it's just like the dog days of summer. Have you played on teams where you can sense that your teammates are just packing it in?
Yes. 2008, we traded CC Sabathia at the deadline to the Brewers. And after that is kind of a closing carousel, if you will. I actually assumed the closer's role there in August and September. And the opportunities we got, I was like, I've got to show not only I could handle this because it was an audition of sorts. And so to fast forward that into where we are in this calendar portion of the regular season, Gil, I look more to young teams, guys that are trying to prove that not only they belong, but could be earning spots for next year's opening day roster. The more veteran teams that are out of it, it's hard. If you get ahead early, like some first fives could be actionable. I stay more towards the full games just because when you get into some bullpens with some veteran guys who maybe are looking for incentive clauses to be able to get to at the end of their respective seasons, that's a way to go. Remember, we're getting September 1st on Monday, so we'll get a handful of call-ups for each game, and that usually for teams that are not in it is geared more toward young guys they want to take a look at for that final calendar month.
All right, Jensen, who is 34-21-1 on a 34-21-1 tear this week on the VSiN Picks page. Some other baseball picks from you today. What do you got?
I think we get some offense in Charm City there. I think we get the Red Sox and the Orioles going back and forth. I found this at even money over 9 and do like both offenses to kind of continue. Shout out Kyle Bradish yesterday. Boy, what a hell of a debut coming back from his arm injury, getting 10 punch outs there. But I think that Roman Anthony, a guy I would target today, 2 hits, runs, RBI, would be a spot. I just feel like where you saw Lucas Giolito in just a really well-pitched game from Boston, I think we get more of the offense ruling today. It could be both sides, but I do like the over 9 at even money or better in this spot.
All right, and then the other one's in Kansas City, or with the Royals, that is?
How about this, Gil? So it just was a random thing. You look for certain trends or you look for things that really stand out. The Kansas City Royals are 7-1 in their last 8 road series finales. I don't know what it is about Getaway Day. It is just remarkable for some clubs. They just perform better than others. And a great guy to pick on a Getaway Day spot is our old friend in Northeast Ohio, Aaron Savali, who's going to get the start for the White Sox today. Royals, big comeback yesterday to stay in the fight here in the American League wildcard race. Do like them to continue that momentum again today. I just think this is a team that is so motivated in so many different respects. They're athletic. They have that flair for the dramatic. Perhaps they take care of business a bit earlier for me and Super Dave, who's got a win total on that Royals club. And I know he's hoping like hell that they don't just kind of fumble some easy wins away. That would have been a bad loss for them last night, but they come back, get it done. I think they do again here today.
I don't know what I like better, Captain America or Super Dave. I'm not sure which.
I'm kind of partial to Super Dave, but cool. But Captain America makes a lot of sense.
Jensen, what's so great about having you on. You actually played the game. You played it at the highest level. So along the lines of that previous question I had, which is, okay, is this notion of teams just packing it in when they're down 25 games?
Yeah, how did you personally quit on the game, Jensen?
No, that was it. But since he mentions it,
Jensen's fastball is all of a sudden 10 miles an hour slower.
No, I'm curious because you said you just in one of the games you just handicapped. You said some team, the Royals 8-1, or was 7-1 or 8-1, and in closing games on the road, getaway games. Like, I mean, is that a thing you ever witnessed as being more than random?
I guess in certain scheduling spots too, and I know everyone loves to look at the Malinsky specials there, coming off the road and the long road trips. But to me, there are just some clubs that find a way to play better during the day, or whatever time is going off in their head of like, oh, I'm packing everything up, can't wait to get to the next city, can't wait to get home. I don't know if there's a specific rhyme or reason, Gil, but I don't want to get in front of teams that on paper are like, we actually want to win and we want to get the heck out of Dodge. So it makes sense to me on that. And I'd also look like last night's a perfect example. Hunter Brown against the Rockies. You would think from a scheduling spot, this is a great way to attack a Rocky offense that has got plenty of swing and miss in it. Forget about that. I mean, they torched Hunter Brown last night. I'm not saying I'll do the same thing against Framber Valdez again today, but Framber's been really bad. And I mean, if you want to take a shot on a plus 244, plus 250 money line, I'm not mad at you if you want to look at a young team there. Yet again, a lot of young kids trying to prove that they belong and try and lock up spots for next year's opening day roster.
We should do a Jensen Lewis myth or math segment with baseball, because I have one more before you go here. So we all have witnessed starting pitchers who, for whatever reason, their offense never backs them up. So like,
Yes.
Logan Webb for the Giants just cannot get run support. And sometimes it lasts for more than a year. I remember there's some Orioles pitchers when the Orioles had just an amazing staff back in the 70s and 80s that never got the run support. We see it all over the league. Is that just completely random, or does it happen with aces where, let's say, the offense just says, well, Logan's out on the hill today, we don't really have to lock in the same way?
We saw it in Cleveland here, Gil, with Corey Kluber. It's a really perfect segue because almost every fifth day, it felt like, he was going to give up one run or maybe none and en route to the Cy Young. I think that is something to be said. And I know I felt it as a bullpen guy. Like when CeCe Sabathia and Fausto Carmona in 2007 were taking the hill, I didn't really feel I was going to get in unless CeCe had like a boatload of pitches in the first 2 innings. Then I would kind of lock in around the 5th because maybe I have to come in and clean up something. But those 2 guys were wrecking balls. And so there's a lot of times where you just see like Ace on the mound. It's an off day for us. And I think the offense sort of is like, they'll do their thing and we don't really have to worry about too much more.
It is from a handicapping perspective. It's one of the more frustrating things. You're like, they just decided not to show up again for this guy. Jensen, I appreciate the perspective, man. We can't get that from anybody else. Thank you.
Anytime, boys.
Jensen Lewis, co-host with Super Dave on By the Books each and every morning preceding us. NFC South. I guess now that the Saints have named their starting quarterback, inspired us to do the NFC South. That's next right here on A Numbers Game.
There's no better time to join VSiN Pro. Right now, get started for just $9.99 for your first 30 days or save 50% off with an annual subscription. As a pro user, you'll get our newly updated NFL betting guide, as well as the college football betting guide, the ultimate playbook packed with expert picks, team previews, and best bets. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive features like real-time betting splits, daily best bets, and full access to the VSiN Watch app. Don't miss out. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Get your edge this season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual pro subscription and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Need a proxy? I might need one from this desk that's like 20 feet behind me. I don't get going. You can join the world's biggest football contest with one trip to Vegas anytime before the season starts. Trusted by thousands of players over the last 9 seasons, Winners Circle Proxy Service helped clients win over $9.3 million last 2 seasons. Learn more about using a trusted proxy service. Visit winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN. We get tweets at Beating the Book, Kelly. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. James Sott, that little bit of perspective from Jensen at the end of the segment about aces and run support was so good. Thank you, James. I was always wondering about that. Jensen was great.
I always try to do the devil's advocate argument though on those, right? Where I'm like, if I was somebody on the Pirates, I'd be like, all right, Skeens is on the mound today. Like if my bat's gonna hit something, today's the day, because we know he's only going to give up 1 or 2 runs, so that's all we got to get to actually win a game.
It just put it this way, it feels more than random that it could sustain for a year and sometimes
more
than a year with some of these guys. Steve, New York Football Giants 42, he says, I figured I missed the boat on Ega reaching the final, but to my surprise, I found a plus 120 this morning. Shady, or is this a gift from the books? Well, I don't know what book you're doing, so I can't really comment if it's shady.
I mean, I bet it yesterday at plus 125.
But that's exactly what it should be at this point, you know. Jesse Welch. All right, it's day 3 of the 3-hour ANG. Today has to be the day we get into this cemetery conversation. Boy, oh boy, does this topic fascinate me. This is, for those who don't know, I just mentioned casually, it was earlier this week, but also last time I was in here, 2 weeks ago. I was like, why don't they build more cemeteries? Have you ever noticed this?
What was the story I sent you while you were gone, though? There was like a cemetery that got shut down here in town or something. I was like, they're going to have to build a new one, obviously.
They're going to have a grand opening. Grand opening. New cemetery. Mike Zills. Not that they should probably.
My mom recently did that went back to her hometown to select her burial plot. And I was like, this is so dark. Like, I don't know.
Dude, yeah, I went with my dad and my mom. 2 plots next to each other. It's a whole dude.
She was like kind of excited about it though. It was
what a business that is clearly lucrative and preys on people at their most emotional times.
Yeah.
Mike Zills, Duke 90. 34-21-1 this week, he says about Jensen. Well, I meant last 7 days. Because he was like, it's Wednesday. That's like, no, last 7 days.
I was thinking when he said his record, I'm like, I don't know if I've made that many bets this summer.
Stringfellow Hawk said, me and Zach are oppo on the Bonzi-Giron match. Zach is on Giron, I'm on Bonzi.
It's a true Bonzi scheme.
Jason, Ice Cold Gambler. I thought adding the extra hour would make time for Wishnev Wednesdays. I guess producer number 9 needs a side producer to help with scheduling. Don't worry, Kelly, I'm here for you. Just a message away. He wants to be producer 9.5. Danny Higgins is 9.5.
Danny's burner? Is that Danny's burner? He's been Jason
burner.
Ice Cold Gambler this whole time?
And this one is from Tim Foote. Last one here for this segment here. Tim Foote, who, first of all, Tim, thank you for your service. I met Tim along with Crack at the Italian-American Club about a couple months ago.
Oh, nice.
He says, congrats on the 3rd hour. Best show on VSiN. Thank you. That's very nice of you. He said, you had me pissing my pants listening to the replay while you explained your phone call to your mother yesterday. we need more Toddy jogging those stories in your brain. The story he's referring to is me trying to figure out if Washington was going to beat Pittsburgh in a 1989 football game. And in 1989, the only way I could figure it out is on a payphone with my mom, trying to get her to figure out if the field goal if the ball went through the 2, what I had to describe to her as 2 vertical yellow poles. What do you mean poles? I don't know where the ball is. Anyway, thank you, Tim, for that. I appreciate it.
Now, some years later, were you a big beeper guy?
No, I was never a beeper guy.
I don't know why that feels right, but it feels right.
I was never a beeper guy.
Maybe it's just because I've been around you with other technology, but
I remember my friend Andre in D.C. would be like, hit me on the hip. I'd be like, what? Oh, beeper. Got it.
What a time. What a time to be alive.
What a time. The 90s. All right, so the Saints making the announcement that the entire world, forget nation, world was waiting for. Who will be their starting quarterback? They're going with Spencer Rattler over Tyler Shuck.
I'm actually mad. Like, I didn't find a way to bet this. Like, when these markets first opened up, we were like, are we really making Tyler Shuck like a $3 favorite?
Yeah, but you can say that, but then the Browns one, I would argue, went completely differently than I thought, because I thought it was going to be Pickett.
Well, me too, but I'll stand by it. I think it would have been Pickett if he didn't get hurt.
I think so, too. But, I mean,
you can't control that stuff.
I'm just saying you can't have too much regret on these.
Yeah, no. We also would have been able to bet, a whole $50 or something.
It's going to be a completely non-lucrative bet. So it inspires us to go to the NFC South. And we'll just do it through the prism of Cleve TA's wonderful preview guide, where he goes through really, I think, in a concise way, some of the things that happened to the team last year. We know what their final records were, in other words, but what was sustainable, what was not. Let's start at the top of the division where, by the way, I should mention, to make the playoffs, Tampa Bay in the NFC South minus 170, Atlanta plus 155, Carolina plus 270, and the aforementioned Saints at the rear at plus 850. To win the division, Tampa minus 120, Atlanta plus 210, Carolina 5-1, and New Orleans 20-1. Tampa Bay last year ranked, by the way, 9.5 is Tampa Bay's season win total. A little bit juiced to the over at minus 120. The Bucs ranked number 1 in the league in field goal percentage makes last year, and their opponents made the second lowest field goal rate in the league. So that's something, again, our eyes see one game better than analytics, but analytics sees that better than we do. Did you know that? Bucs, number 1 in the league field goal percentage makes last year. Their opponents made the second lowest field goal rate in the league.
Yeah, it's wild.
We refer to that as field goal defense, right, in quotes. Doesn't really exist unless you're blocking it. They ranked number 1 in net third downs versus expected and recovered fumbles at the 7th highest rate in the league. So a lot went their way. By the way, Chase McLaughlin made 93% of his kicks in back-to-back seasons. It's amazing. He missed only 1 kick in the fourth quarter in an overtime of games, while the opponents made just 5 of 9 in the fourth quarter in overtime against the Bucs last year. That's back-to-back seasons where opposing Bucs field goal kickers missed their kicks at a top 5 rate. So it's just one little detail of this is why Tampa Bay has been as successful. I'm not saying they stink, but I'm just saying they probably win a couple more games than they ought to just on that alone. Tampa ranked number 1 by a mile in third down conversions versus expected on offense, and number 1 in overall third and fourth down success rate. So they were ridiculously good in high leverage situations as well. They faced a near league average schedule last year, but had the good fortune of facing the 5th highest rate of snaps of backup quarterbacks. Against backup quarterbacks, they got to face Spencer Rattler twice, including in his career debut, Cooper Rush, Aiden O'Connell, Desmond Ridder, and Tommy DeVito. Not exactly murderer's row.
Yeah, 4-1 against backups and 6-6 against everybody else.
Yeah, and they ranked 26 in EPA per dropback versus starting quarterbacks. So they're starting to face, and this year, slated to face one of the 10 easiest schedules in the league. First 12 weeks, daunting opponents, though. Philly, San Francisco, Detroit, Buffalo. But things clear up late. They have an injury. Tristan Wirfs, I'm not sure if he's a go.
Well, it sounds like it's positive. Been a lot of positive news on Wirfs and Godwin, because I really thought they were going to miss some time to start the season, and they're getting back quicker, passing physicals.
Danny say pass the physical, yeah. So anyway, all that about Tampa Bay, just sort of put it in your brain and say, well, 9.5, that was a lot that went right for them on the margins last year.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta.
They've been absurdly healthy over the past years.
Atlanta, 7.5 is their win total, or 8.5. 8.5 is the under is juiced at minus 150. 7.5, the over is juiced at minus 140. Kirk Cousins either hurt, whatever happened with him, completely shot or he's hurt, whatever it was. He was 35th out of 38 quarterbacks in EPA from week 10 on last year. Expected points added. And the Falcons lost 4 of their next 5 games to essentially keep them out of the playoffs. Penix closed out the season in the final 3 games. In fairness, he did play really weak defenses, pass defenses, 22nd, 29th, and 31st pass defenses is who he got to face, so he got the best of that. But here's again, Falcons opposing field goal kickers, in contrast to Tampa Bay, 31 of 32 good, the highest rate in the NFL. That stuff is fascinating because we don't process that.
Yeah, it is.
Right? That includes an incredible, you ready for this stat? Opposing field goal kickers on 50-plus yard attempts last year against Atlanta. 11 for 11. Oh, my God. Not only did their opponents make the highest field goal percentage in the NFL, but Falcons kickers made just 70% of their kicks overall, second worst in the NFL. And they were burned.
Younghoe Koo fall apart in the middle of the season, right?
He sure did. And Atlanta was also burned by impactful turnovers late in games. Their offense committed the most turnovers, 14, and lost the most EPA in the NFL in the second half of one-score games. Cousins threw 7 picks in the second half of close games. All those Skins fans are like, there's the Kirk Cousins experience for you, including 1 pick six and another that was returned inside the 10. He threw a league-leading 4 picks in the final 2 minutes of a game last season. And we had the Chargers, the Saints. Remember those games? He just completely gacked those games. No offense in the NFL produced a wider negative gap between points per drive and expected points, all because of that. But Atlanta is expected to face one of the easiest schedules in 2025. A lot of that has to do with their division opponents. They only play 4 games against teams in the top 10 of Super Bowl odds. And 3 of those 4 will be played at home, Buffalo, the Rams, and Washington. And then they play 6 games against teams in the bottom 7 of Cleve's ratings. So he's got them playing 11 games with a spread of 3 or less either way. So this is why, and by the way, they do catch a break as the road schedule late in the season does not have a single potential cold weather environment outside of Week 13 at the Jets. So this is why I say I'm bullish on Atlanta at 7.5, and I'm bearish on the Bucs at 9.5. All of that is like really impactful stuff. Everything seemed to go Tampa's way last year. Everything seemed to go against Atlanta last year. Anyway, that's the top of the division. We'll get to the bottom of the division a little later on. But Greg Peterson joins us for some baseball plays. Next, Numbers Game, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim is the only thing like it in the world.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
And shout out to Elijah Moore as well. Oftentimes he's Elijah Less. Keep in mind, Sean Payton is evil for fantasy football.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game, live from Circa. Gil Alexander. My little buddy Kelly Bidlin, everybody. What's up? Hey, have you seen this? This has nothing to do with anything. Have you seen this video? It's like on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, of this woman flabbergasted by the culture of men's pickup basketball?
No.
It is so great. In like 2 minutes, through the prism of pickup basketball, she basically demonstrates the massive difference between men's brains and women's brains. She is dumbfounded, right? She just goes off for 2 minutes because through asking her husband about this. She's dumbfounded that men show up on a random basketball court in any city, right? Don't know anybody, right? You can show them, and she's like, and they let you play? You don't know? How do you pick teams? You just say, we're just playing us five. What happens? And she was amazed more. First of all, she was like, I'd be so anxiety ridden. I would have to like put on makeup. I'd have to bring water just so everybody likes me. And then she couldn't believe the peaceful transfer of power. She says, so what happens when you lose? What if one team loses, decides they don't want to leave the court? Her husband's like, I've played thousands of games. Never once says that any team refused to leave the court. She can't believe this is possible.
It is a intriguing social dynamic because there's not many other situations where like dudes that just don't know each other show up and like expect to like get to know someone.
She's like, there's no
like
argument.
you're going to the bar at night to try to like meet new guys. You know what I mean? Maybe no judgment.
She was even fascinated with the fact that we call fouls, right? And sometimes there are arguments with fouls, but the play goes on. So,
right.
It's just so great.
Yeah, play goes on.
Anyway, Greg Peterson joins us now. We were just talking about this injury to Nathan Eovaldi of the Rangers, which any hopes the Rangers might have had seemed to go out the window with that. Greg Peterson joins us now at @GUnit_81 on Twitter, courtesy of the Progressive guest line. Greg, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and I do not think Nathan Eovaldi is going to be playing any pickup basketball anytime soon.
Yeah, that really, wow. How if they were, I'll say it again, like that was the whole crux of the Rangers' chances, was the fact that they've given up so few runs, right? Like 30 runs fewer than any other team in baseball, and it was anchored by that starting pitching staff, number one in ERA, number one in WHIP, and now it's just like forget about it, especially as badly as they played in August. Greg, I was just talking to Jensen. We were just talking to Jensen moments ago. He was on top of the VSiN Experts Board for VSiN Pro Picks at VSiN.com for VSiN Pro subscribers. You have unseated him. You are 12-3-1 in your last 7 days betting baseball. Good for you, man.
Hey, you know what? It had been a pretty miserable run to start August for myself. We've gotten hot here the last few days, and much like in sports betting, much like in life, sometimes you have good runs, sometimes you have bad runs. The biggest thing is stick with it, continue to put in the work, and typically good things happen when you just stick in there and, as they always like to say, stay the course.
All right, well, full slate of Major League Baseball today. We're all anxious to hear what you got. Let's start with the team that I keep an eye on every day because I have a season win total under on them, and I wish they would just go away. They're one game under 500. It's the Cleveland Guardians against the Rays today after the Guardians won yesterday 3-0.
And I do think that you've got a little bit of value here with the Guardians. Slade Cecconi has had a bit of a miserable run. He's given up 3+ runs in 4 of his last 5 games, but I do think that there's a bit of regression here for Drew Rasmussen. Only 5 total runs given up in his last 5 games, but that said, not too much of a strikeout artist. Going against Cleveland Guardians team that has been a bit hot and cold at the plate, but you know what you're going to get out of Jose Ramirez, Steven Kwan, those guys at the top. And for the Cleveland Guardians, they do have the better bullpen. For the Guardians, they rank in the top 7 in the big leagues in terms of bullpen ERA. And for the Rays, I don't understand why some of these guys are at the minor league level right now. Like Eric Orze was really effective for them, but instead they're trotting out there Brian Baker, Griffin Jacks, these guys that have over a 4 ERA that, for lack of a better term, are failed veterans. So I do think that with the Cleveland's being able to get them at pretty good plus money, I think that there's some value there. And additionally, with this game, right now I'm seeing that total between 7 and 7.5 just has gone a little bit too low for myself because I do think that Rasmussen is doing for aggression and Slade Cecconi has had a really rough run here in the month of August. So like that over, and I do like the Guardians on the money line.
Okay, let's go to the Phillies and the Mets. Mets win a big one against the Phillies yesterday. They got to, if they're trying to stay in contact with the top of the division, let's put it that way, and obviously Mets fighting for a playoff berth. Phillies, Mets today, you have both a side and a total here as well.
Yep, I like the over, and I do like the Phillies on the money line. For Taijuan Walker, sub 350 ERA, that is due to be going northward. He has given up 1.4 home runs per 9 innings, not getting a lot of swing and miss, but Noel McLean at the minor league level prior to him coming on up to the big league level, which, I mean, it's been a good first 2 starts for him. 12 and a third innings, he's only allowed 2 runs. He walking up 4 walks per 9 innings. He is a little bit wild. And with just a 2-start sample size, I feel like it's warping this number a little bit. Still have a rock-solid Phillies team that's in the top 10 in terms of run scoring. Kyle Schwarber has put together an amazing year, but now has some support with the way that Bryce Harper has been able to come on here late. And for the Mets, I just don't trust this bullpen. They tried to revamp it at the deadline, but Ryan Helsley has been absolutely terrible for them. You've got Edwin Diaz, who's rock solid, but they've had to use him quite a bit over the last few days. So being able to get this sort of a plus number on the Phillies was willing to take a shot there. And I recognize that New York is a little bit of a pitcher-friendly ballpark, but still August, so the ball's still flying a little bit. And I think that both of these pitchers give up some runs, so in on that over.
Okay, Brewers, Diamondbacks. Brewers, by the way, sorry to do this to you guys. August wins. Brewers could clinch the August wins title tonight, by the way, on August 27th with a handful of days left in the month. They're 19-6 this month. The next best teams, the Phillies and Padres at 15-9, a full 4 wins back, I should say. Brewers, Diamondbacks. You have a play on this as well.
Yep, I'm going to be taking a shot on the Brewers on the money line. Don't necessarily want the run line after the adventures that we saw the last 2 nights, especially yesterday when Brewers were up 6-0. They blow that lead before they have to come back in the 9th. But much of this does have to do with the bullpen. For the Milwaukee Brewers, they've been a top 6 team in terms of bullpen ERA since the beginning of the month of June. Diamondbacks, 4.77 bullpen ERA, bottom 5 in the big leagues. As a matter of fact, their best reliever is now on the Milwaukee Brewers. And Shelby Miller got traded at the deadline. And for Quinn Priester, doing for a little bit of regression. He's posting up a sub 350 ERA. Fielding independent is nearly a full point higher as he's only getting about 7.3 strikeouts, over 3 walks per 9 innings. Ryan Nelson has actually been relatively solid for the Snakes, but same time for the Brewers. This offense has been just tremendous. 3rd in the big leagues in terms of runs per game. Really doing it with a lot of power, too. I mean, the only guy in that starting lineup with above 15 home runs this year that is not injured is Christian Yelich, but I think that the Brewers continue their small ball approach. Think that they get into that Diamondbacks bullpen. So like the Brewers money line.
Love it. Full day here. Let's continue. Royals, White Sox. We just had Jensen on, and he was talking about how the Royals have this great record on getaway day. Which way are you going here?
Hey, I'm going to be riding with it, not necessarily for that reason, but I just love what Ryan Bergert has brought to the table. Whether he be with the Royals, whether he be with the Padres, this guy's been rock solid this year. A sub 285 ERA, does give up a few more walks than I would like him to, but only giving up about 1 home run per 9 innings. That sub 3 ERA against a White Sox team that's in the bottom 5 of the big leagues in terms of runs per game. It just really has not cranked out the deep ball. I think that that's going to play well here. And for Aaron Savali, he's been all over the place. He's actually had in his last 16 starts 9 of them, in which he's given up 2 earned runs or fewer. But and it's been up down around from. This has been a Royals team that since the All-Star break has actually been in the top 8 in terms of run scoring. We've seen Vinny Pasquantino catch absolute fire for this team. Right now, we're getting a total of 8.5. Do think that that Royals bullpen is going to be able to do their part. They've gotten healthy with Daniel Lynch coming off the injured list. So do like the Royals to get a good start out of Bergert, like the under, and the Royals on the money line.
No one more thorough than volume shooter Greg Peterson, both in dating and in baseball. Colorado and Houston. We have a total here?
Yes, we do. The Colorado Rockies were able to bust out a little bit yesterday with the 6 runs against Houston Astros, getting to Hunter Brown. I do not think that lightning strikes twice. This is in a lineup in the Colorado Rockies that are last in the league in terms of on-base percentage away from home, still averaging fewer than 3 runs per game when they're away from home as well. Now, this is not a time where you want to be getting frisky with the minus 289 money line with the Astros. That's a little bit far. And also Chase Dollander. He's going to be going for the Rockies. He's had a rough year. He's posting up an ERA well above 6. He's given up 1.9 home runs per 9 innings. Much more respectable on the road, though. All of his issues have come at Coors Field. On the road, a 3.95 ERA with about 1.3 home runs per 9 innings. Not Cy Young numbers, but numbers that are passable. So right now, you're getting a total of 8 with an Astros team that has been struggling at the plate. Do like that total under.
9 plays so far. Let's get it into double digits. The Cubs are in San Francisco tonight.
Yep, and we're going to be going with the Cubs in this spot, with the Chicago Cubs. I do think that they're going to get to young Carson Weisenhunt, who's been posting up a .491 ERA, but he's allowing 2.5 home runs and over 4 walks per 9 innings. Cubs have been rough with their lineup, bottom 5 of the big leagues in terms of runs per game since the All-Star break, but I think that they get it going here. Colin Ray is a guy that pitches to a lot of contact as well, so not the worst look here on the over, but what I wrote up here was the Cubs on the money line to be able to get to Weisenhunt.
Greg, virtuoso performance, man. Well done. Really appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Hey, I have to emulate you, Gil. Always appreciate it. Thank you.
Greg Peterson, everybody, at GUnit_81. Courtesy of Progressive.